Good evening, Hidden No More Women. How are you? How are you this evening? We are live here with my Hidden No More sister, celebrity chef Natasha B.
Oh my God.
Welcome. We are so excited to have you with us this evening.
Thank you. I'm excited to do this. I'm excited to catch up with you and just to share.
Yes.
What's going on.
Listen, we go way back, y'all. So if throughout the interview you hear me call her Nikki, that's what I know her as, is Nikki. Yeah, we go way back. I've known her since she was in elementary school. And man, I was probably in high. And wow, our parents have been in ministry together. Our paths have crossed in many different ways throughout our lives. But I am truly honored to be able to highlight you this evening and just share in this space with you. So thank you.
Oh, absolutely. The pleasure is mine. Yes. Thanks for considering me.
Of course. So yeah, we're going to jump right in. I know some of you will be joining as we continue through the evening. Feel free to invite a friend into the group, but this is the Hidden No More group for women who are aligning and rising to their purpose and power. And this is a part of our Women's History Month series where we're highlighting women who are CEOs, women who are moms and holding it down at home, those who are launching out into their dreams and all sorts of things. Because listen, we all have a story, y'all. We've been sharing that here within this community. Some of you may have seen, we all have a story. And some of us, we have the opportunity to share it or not, but even every day as we're living out and walking out our lives, we're sharing a story by the way that we live. And so tonight, you all are going to hear an amazing story of this young woman. Y'all, she is a celebrity chef, and I'm going to let her introduce herself. I've already shared some about her in the group here and what she has done and some of the people that she has been able to share her food with. But I'm going to let her share a little bit, and I'm going to start off tonight just by asking you, who is Chef Natasha B? Share with the women. Who are you?
Who am I? You know, the funny thing is, I had to do an event Saturday, and I said, man, what am I going to stand up there and say? I've been rehearsing this idea, like, well, who am I? And it's like, well, I'm daughter Bishop Allen and Apostle Geraldine Leonard, and I'm the younger sister to 3 older brothers, you know, JR, Jesse, and Danny, and I'm the mother to 3 small age children, Sophia, Christopher, and Jesse. And then if I would say me, I am, I would say I'm someone who likes to push the limits. I'm someone who loves good food. I'm someone who loves people. I'm an introvert. So small talk is not my forte. Like, tell me the truth. Like, when I ask you how you're doing, don't be like, oh, I'm just doing well. No, tell me, like, you know, today was really great, but this morning struggled here and here and here, but I'm working on X, Y, and Z. I'm going to love a conversation like that. So that's who I am. I love comedy. And I be trying to sing here and there. So that's who I am.
Okay. Listen, we would go way back and just even within the music at church and different things like that. So hey, we might have to have you sing a little bit tonight.
Oh my God. Woo, woo, woo.
Oh, we're gonna have a good time tonight, y'all. Look, come on in, laugh with us. We might even cry a little bit. I don't know what's gonna happen tonight, but listen, come on in, invite a friend to join in with you. Listen, so Nikki, I know there's a lot of women, your mom being one of them. We just gonna throw a shout out to your mother, who I adore and I love. I know there's a lot of women within your life, I'm sure, your mom being one of them, who have shaped you, who have had such a huge impact on your life and have made an imprint on your life to this point in your journey. I know we're going to get into the meat of the story, but who are some of the women who have maybe impacted your life to this point, had a major impact on you?
Oh my gosh. Of course, my mother. My mother, she has something growing up that of course I'm growing up, I'm younger, and I would look at my mother. One of the things that always stood out with me was like her grace with people who I thought would mistreat her.
Wow. And
we literally were I'm full grown, I'm an adult now, and like we literally can sit down and talk about it, and it's like, I was always about getting the lick back. Like, I'm ready to get the lick back, know?
Yeah.
But then it's like, she taught me to just be gracious with people and to understand that God is dealing at the end of the day and the beginning of the day, in the middle. God has to deal with somebody. We don't change anybody and we don't control how they treat us. But what you do is what you're going to be held accountable for. And I never wanted to hear that. I never was like, nah, because see, I can get them back right now. Because of what they did to me. But my mom definitely taught me like, yo, you need to be gracious and kind with people. And now that I'm older, we were literally laughing about this last week. It's like, yo, now that you're older and you see how God has to deal with people, even the people that mistreat you, and you see how God deals with them, you be praying like, God, go easy. There's Tangi in North Carolina. Her mother would cook Sunday dinner. And you're in the South now. And Tangi's mother is a little woman. She's like 4 feet tall. I didn't even go to church with her. I went to church with her daughter, and Tangi, after church, Tangi be like, oh, well, my mom is cooking. And I'll be like, oh, okay, well, do you need to tell her we're coming? It's like, no, like, it's Sunday, she's cooking. I was like, what does that mean? Am I allowed? It's Sunday, my mom is cooking. Yes, she's allowed to come over. And I would get there, and it would be fried chicken, pork chops, cabbage, baked mac and cheese, 3 different pies, potatoes. It would just be so much food.
Wow.
And Tangi was like is the only child. And you would say, well, who's all this food for? Who's all this food for? But randomly, just throughout the time that we would sit there and eat, just different people would come by. And it was never like, oh, you have to pay. Oh, you got to call RSVP. It was like, yo, it's Sunday. If you want to play, come over and eat. The 2 years that I was down there, like, she really, that's a major impact. It made me think like, yo, I want to be somebody who feeds people too. I already wanted to, but it's like, yo, like, just to be like, yo, I cooked. Anybody want to eat? Just come over.
Wow.
So that shaped me. My grandmother, my dad's mom, but my mom's mom too. But my dad's mom, she would come down and watch us when my parents were traveling, and I felt like in the kitchen she turned water into wine. Our parents would leave and they'd be like, it's no food in here. They left us to die. Like, I literally remember one time it was a carcass. Like, whole chicken, just the bone part from the whole chicken. Don't you know, she turned it into like a 5-course meal. She boiled the bones, made a gravy. We had rice. She scraped the rest of the meat off. It was like chicken salad. It was just so much stuff, and it was like, how'd you do that?
Oh my goodness.
So she told me like, yo, you got to take what you have and you make the best of whatever it is that you have.
Wow.
Whatever it is. I could go on and on, but those are like some things that always stick out. From my mom, the generosity from Tangi's mom, and my grandmother just teaching me to make the best of every opportunity.
That is so good, man. You said so much in just sharing about those 3. I got to go back to your mom though, because things are going to happen. First of all, I adore her, as I said. I haven't seen her in so long, man. I adore your mother, but one thing that you said is like people are always going to be people. We're always going to encounter different people and have different types of responses, right? But the only thing that we can control is our response. It's our response. As you said, and we got to highlight this thing. we can't change anybody.
Nobody. You can't even change
anybody.
You can barely change yourself if we think about it. Sorry, I'm playing with my camera because I'm just trying.
You're fine.
Okay.
We can't change anybody. The only thing that we have control over is our response.
Mm-hmm.
And people they don't remember what we do for them. They remember how we treat them, how we respond to them. So even in our response, we have an opportunity,
yes,
to impact those who may be mistreating us or treating us some type of way. And so, man, we had to go back to that for a minute. And then the other thing about your friend's mom, there's something about gathering people around a table.
Yes.
Inviting people around a table to break bread. There's healing at those tables.
Come on. You understand?
It's a powerful thing. I love that you saw that, you caught that. It was so much more than your friend inviting you there. That was seed right there in your ground that he has used over time. I know that your food is a labor of love. And it sounded like hers was too. And that was seed that was planted in you from her just inviting you to the table.
Exactly. And like
just inviting you to the table.
I grew up in church and we would cook and we would have food afterwards, but maybe it was an event or something like that. But to literally have someone that you didn't know, Tangie would be like, yo, my mom is cooking. Well, what does that mean, Tangie? Come over. Even if you couldn't stay, get a plate. I don't know if it was Tyler Perry or someone was like, yeah, my mother taught me that like you can eat as much as you want, but you have to stay. Like you can't take a plate to go. And we're in a culture where people they've been used and abused and been taken advantage of. So they want to make sure that the next person doesn't go through that same hurt. So the idea of someone that you don't know or communicate with, just being able to stop by, get a plate of all this food that you worked hard for and go, nobody's really like pushing that type of idea. But Angie's mom, I mean, just all kind of people would show up, people in the neighborhood, and it did not matter. It didn't matter if you stayed. It didn't matter if you got it to go. You could even get the cake to go. Even if you stayed to eat, she was still sending you food home to go. She made so much food. I think she started cooking on Saturday. So it's like, man, I love that. Like,
yes, that is so good. That is so good. And then the last thing you said was your grandmother made something out of nothing. And isn't that how our Father works? And we're going to jump in. I want to get into, man, your story about how you got to this one. Because look, when we were growing up, I didn't even know you could. Like, when did this happen? You start, like I said, we got to get you down here as soon as possible. Because y'all, if you go, make sure you go follow Chef Natasha B on Instagram. We will put all that in the comments before we get done. But listen, she has her food presented out there on her page. If you all see this food, your mouth is gonna start watering. Okay, so listen, it looks amazing. I can't wait to try it. For y'all who are local down here in Texas, I'm gonna let y'all know when she comes through, because we need a taste testing, a whole session with this young lady. Her food looks amazing. It looks amazing, but I know that there's a story, and there's a heart behind your food, behind you getting to this point in your journey. I'm gonna read a few things here, y'all. The things that this beautiful young woman has accomplished in such a short time. The accolades, she's a BET content producer. Come on, somebody. Okay. She has won awards in the areas. So we're from the DMV, from the Maryland area. She has won, DMV's Best Chef award as well. You're so many other things that are happening. I'm gonna leave some of them for you to share as a part of your story, but there are so many things that are happening within your life right now, because of your labor of love with food and your love for people. So we're gonna jump right into this meaty part of your story, where how in the world did you get to this point? What got you to this point where we're sitting here right now?
I know, right?
Talking to you with, again, BET content creator, DMV's best chef. That's what I'm calling you.
I don't know how.
I mean, let's talk through the journey, because I know this wasn't overnight. Success. I know this wasn't maybe what you even had in sight for yourself. Did you ever see yourself as being a traveling chef or being a chef in general? So we're gonna let you outline it for us from the inception, how we got to this point. Let us know.
Nice. So I would say let's go back to California. I spent the last 2 years of like my marriage, us living together as a family in California. So I'll go there. Before I lived in California, I was in North Carolina with Tangi's mom, who was feeding us on Sundays. So now I am in California. I'm away from my family in Maryland. I'm away from Tangi's mom and all of our friends in North Carolina. And I wanted to create like a sense of community there. I highlighted Tangi's mom because it just meant so much to me on Sundays, just to gather with, just people, feeding people. I just love it. And I love good food. So I was in California, and when you're in the military, they have a thing like everyone has to work together. So say one of your neighbors is pregnant and her husband is deployed. So it's like they would create a meal chart or something like that, to where a meal train, yes. We would prepare food and you would take it to them, and you don't even know them, but come on, you're going to make your best dish and you're going to take it to them. And that was something that the military has. So like the wives in the community anyway, we all just kind of looked out for each other, especially with the food. And then with church there, it was like, okay, it's Sunday. Well, I'm going to cook dinner. So y'all come over. And they would come over, and I just kind of tried to carry the torch of Tangi. But being married, and I joke about it, but it was a big thing of like the budget and the grocery budget, and having a heart to give, and then being like, why are you giving? Why are you making food for them? So that it was always like the day of, it's like hee ha ha, hey, thanks for coming over. But I had to kind of fight to be like, yo, I'm gonna make this chicken dish, and people from the church are gonna come over, we're gonna fellowship. And so when my marriage, and just the grocery budget in general, so when my marriage ended, it was like, okay, well, I'm in control of the grocery budget now. And I have a say on what me and the kids are going to eat and who we feed. So in a moment where when you're going through a divorce, you really realize that you're not really in control of your life, because they're just telling you when you can see your kids, like you feel like you lose everything. And food became something that I felt that I could control. So it became like a little bit of therapy for me. It helped me gain some control over my life. It was something that like, okay, you can't be in control of anything else, but this here, you can manage it. And this here, you can do well. And I found that even if I was sad, I could go in the kitchen and still cook something amazing. Even if I was mad, I still could cook something amazing. And I like to joke about it now, but it's like ADHD, people with ADHD, they talk about the hyper part and the running around part, not being able to organize. Well, there's something else that we have. It's called hyperfixation. We can focus on something, and that's what we're focused on. And it's not for a day or a week. So think about that in relations to food. I would work on my steak recipe. And I think I worked on that steak recipe for a whole year.
Wow. Wow.
I would work on my Jack Daniel's sauce. Worked on that year and a half.
Wow.
Okay. And literally just make it over and over and over. And all I kept thinking in my head was like, yo, I gotta perfect this. I gotta do it right. And the same with my lobster. And you know, it got to a point where your family they're tired. They were tired of me. You know, because they're like, I know this is great for you, and I know you're going through what you're going through, but we cannot eat steak and lobster every day. And I took such offense to it. I was so hurt. Because I said, God, I'm giving them my best.
Yeah.
I'm giving them my best and they don't appreciate it. And so this is a part of success that like is, you know, when I talk about successful people, I talk about how you don't miss any steps. You have to learn and you have to get to a point where you're like, oh, I do have something valuable and I need to make sure that I'm giving it to people who appreciate it. Not that my, you know, they appreciated it, but I knew there was other people out there that were really, really, really going to appreciate it. So I went to my dad and I said, hey, Dad, what do you think if I started selling plates? The restaurant industry just changed. COVID just happened and they shut down dining in. So people were basically doing carryouts and pickups and that was it. Yeah. So I kind of snuck in and I started offering food that I love. I don't cook anything that I don't like. I don't cook anything. So my menu is very specific. It's very specific. It's only things that I wouldn't mind doing over and over and over again. And the pop-ups, I sold 10 red snapper and mac and cheese. And it used to just be regular baked mac and cheese. And I also sold cabbage. But over time, as more people started trying my baked mac and cheese, they would be like, yo, this mac and cheese smack. This mac and cheese smack. This is mac and cheese. So the people started calling my mac and cheese smack and cheese. So that's today. And, you know, now it's like, it's called smack and cheese, but it didn't start out that way. The people, they kind of, they named it that. And when I got started, I started by doing plates. And I was also I just got accepted to nursing school. So the summer of I'm doing plates is going really well, barely making any money.
But people were lined up for the plates.
They were lined up.
I saw people lined up for the plates, y'all.
Oh, people were in line. I mean, the line around the block. So, you know, I had to feed the neighbors to make sure that they still, you know, stayed in the good graces. Nobody reported me or anything like that. You know, I took care of them. But it just, the plates took off and I had looked at my mom and I was like, you know, this thing is really working. I didn't know that like you could make money, but I think maybe I made $100 and then I made 1,000. You know, if you figure this thing out, if you can figure this thing out, keep doing it over and over and over and over and over again, you can really make some money. So when I made $1,000, I was like, Mom, would you work for me? And she was like, girl, you get out of my face that little bit.
Trying to hire.
You trying to hire my mom, like, listen, give me the money. I made $1,000. But the fact that I made it on my own, it wasn't, I didn't have to wait to get paid from a company. I didn't have to wait 2 weeks for this, you know, like the money was bam, it was right there and the people were happy. So I saw that this could really be something. And then I started nursing school, started the clinical portion. And I was like, you know, these people are not that happy in this nursing home. People can be mad at me because when I was doing plates, and even maybe now, I'm not immune to like being late or anything like that. I focus so much on making sure that the appearance is right and that the text is right. So if it wasn't right, I would literally just redo it. You have to wait. I have to redo it. I'm not going to give it to you. So maybe somebody's angry because they're waiting, but once they get the food, they're happy.
Yeah.
And in nursing, I didn't find that same happiness and that same joy. And I had mentioned to people, I said, you know, cooking is really taking over. I think I don't want to do nursing. And everyone looked at me like I was crazy. And it's like, no, I have to. Like, you work at the hospital, you're gonna get your degree in nursing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know you're a little cooking on this. I know you made $1,000 cooking on the side, and you know, you think that this is, you know, we all think that you're gonna be somebody. Yes, you're gonna be somebody great, but don't give up nursing school. And that thing really, I was like, dang, y'all don't believe it. So this is another lesson too. You're gonna see it before other people see it.
Yeah.
And God's gonna give it to you before he gives it to anybody else, before anybody else realize it. Yes. So again, cooking every month, just making more and more money with cooking, loving it more and more, even through the challenges, trying to figure things out in the kitchen. You know, it's one thing to make one plate. It's another thing to make that thing 40 times at one time and like not miss.
Wow.
Okay, not have somebody call you talking about, oh, well, this is too salty, or no. So you really have to learn how to make high volume stuff, make it over and over again.
Yeah.
So am I allowed to keep talking?
Yes, you are.
Oh, okay. All right.
Keep going. Y'all give us some love in the comments. This is, if you are enjoying this, if you are getting this, I hope y'all are catching these nuggets though. I hope you're catching the nuggets, because that's the critical piece here. She's giving us so many nuggets.
I'm trying to highlight them.
Listen, and sharing this story, because it is the quickest way to kill a big dream is to tell small-minded people.
And that hurt.
There's gonna be times where only you believe in you, in your dream, and what he's put in your hands. And you're going to have to figure it out you're going to have to be able to encourage yourself. And you're going to be able to realize that what he's given you in your hands is worth something. It's valuable.
Yes.
You knew you had something.
Oh yeah.
You knew you had something in your hands, and it enabled you to keep going. So keep going.
Right,
back to the story.
So this is, we're approaching the fall, and I did a pop-up, like a Friday and a Saturday pop-up. And it's Sunday now. I'm beat. I'm dead, because you work yourself to the bone. And it's Sunday now. And I said, oh my gosh, I have to go to work. I was working night shift as a CNA at the hospital. And you just can't call out like that, because somebody's got to cover your shift. Like, you just really can't call out like that, because there's no one else to be there. So I went in, and on my way to work, I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I make more money doing plates than I do at this job. And so without telling anyone, I just like submitted my 2 weeks, and I quit. And then later on, I think people kind of started asking about it. And I was like, yeah, I quit. Like, I quit a month ago. Wow. And financially, I was fine. So they were like, okay, but they were still kind of looking at it like, girl, that's a good job. That's a whole job. That's a stable job. All you got to do is show up on time, do your training online. Yeah. But I let it go. And now we're getting to November, December. So I'm almost like 6 months in, and 6 months in, and I got asked to do my first private event for for two in West Virginia. And, just to backtrack a little bit, when I left my husband, or just basically when I got divorced, I was like just the clothes on my back and like my kids. And now, it's been a minute, and you're still trying to figure things out. So financially, my business wasn't booming. It wasn't like, oh, you made $10K this month. No, it was not. So when I went into the client's home, I went in with the food, I borrowed pots from my mom. Wow. And I think I had 2 plates because I have a thing about plates and presentation, but like I didn't have forks or spoons or knives or anything. And I think I had 2 glasses. So I used my glasses and I used their fork and my plate, and I did a really, really, really good job. He paid me like $200 to come in there, and I just cooked all this food, and I did a really, really, really good job, and I loved it. And I knew right then that the hustle and bustle of plates, like you're still hustling in a kitchen, but now you are aiming to please like one person. Like, is the husband satisfied with the food, and does his wife enjoy it? Did you get brownie points? Did she love you even more? You know, versus like, oh, you have 50 people messaging you, 50 people to satisfy. So that part was like, oh, I think I like this more.
Yeah.
All right, but I'm still in nursing school. So second semester of nursing rolls around and I wanted to quit. I did not want to do it, but I said, you know what? Everyone said I can't quit. Let me go ahead. Girl, it was the first day of clinicals. The first day.
Wow.
Of clinicals. And don't you know, they kicked me out.
Kicked you out of nursing school.
They kicked me out of nursing school the first day of clinicals. And I said, ain't no way. I got good grades. Like, y'all just really gonna do me like that?
Wow.
And, I didn't even have time to process it. To this day, like I cleaned out my little locker or whatever. All of my nursing stuff to this day is still in one bag, because I never even had an opportunity to go back and kind of like dwell on it, because they kicked me out of school at like 9 a.m. I came home, I packed my car, I traveled to Tennessee, and I cooked Valentine's Day weekend for 8 couples. And once that happened, once I started cooking out of state every month, the same people who were like, oh, you shouldn't drop out of nursing school and you shouldn't quit your job, those same people were like, oh, remember when you said God told you to go ahead and get out of nursing school? I guess you were right. So then they were looking at me like, I guess you're wrong. I was like, I really could have saved myself all of this. Hey, could have saved my GPA. You know, but then we don't know though. So we really try to lean on to the people closest to us to try to make right decisions, especially coming out of a divorce. Because it's like, you know, like divorce is so traumatic and traumatizing to where it's like, maybe I'm not making the right decisions for myself. So you get a group of people around you and it's like, yo, y'all help me make better decisions.
Yeah.
And then you got to get to a point where you get your confidence in God, and that just comes over time. It literally just comes, and that's a nugget. The confidence in God comes over time, with him just proving himself to you, with him showing himself to you. And so now I have this thing that I do when I feel like God is telling me something. I like to write it.
Yes.
I like to put a date on it.
Yes.
And maybe I'll go to my mom and be like, watch this. I wrote it and I dated it.
Come on.
We'll see
Writing it
if
down.
God is saying X, Y, and Z. Yes. You know, and
I
then and that way, when you go back, you can look at yourself like, you know, I was telling my friend the other day, I said, man, we messed up so much. We mess up in so many different areas. So when I look at God now, I don't look at him so that I can have scripture for someone else. I don't look at him so that I can say something to someone else. I use God and I use his word, you know, so that, and I write what he tells me so that I can prove him to myself.
Yeah.
God, be real to me.
Yeah.
So God, show yourself to me. Like, I want to know that you're real. One of the things that old people used to say, they used to be a little bit more honest. So, God, I believe, but help my unbelief.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they used to be a little bit more honest. Now we just be like, oh God, I'll really die. Well, come on, like tell the truth. Do you just believe everything? You don't struggle with anything?
Yeah.
So I like to write now. What I feel God is telling me, and it helps me build my confidence in Him. And definitely through food, it's definitely helping me build my confidence in Him. One of the ways that God directs me is because I'm a little, I don't want to say I'm hard-headed, but He really has to slam the door in my face for me to be like, okay, wrong direction.
I think a lot of us are like that, Nikki. A lot of us are like that. Yes.
He don't even just be like, no, go that. I feel like he just be having to be like, you know, like that is not the way. He just that nursing school, because you don't understand. We was just celebrating on Facebook, like, yeah, I just made it in. Everybody's like, God is good. You're with me. You could do it.
Yeah, yeah.
And when he slammed that door, I was like, but I was going to leave.
Wow.
You ain't had to boot me out like that. Yes. But that's really, if you look at my life, God, I really get the door slammed in my face. And you know, when he does that, oh my gosh, and he like helps me course correct. He just kind of like, okay, I know you were good at it. I know you were really good at it, but now I need you to come over here because I have something over here for you to do. Yes. And with cooking, I definitely feel like I'm in the place where God would have me, and I'm doing what He would have me. You know, we love God, and we grew up in church, and what divorce did to my heart, that thing hurt so bad to where like you start to be like, well, let me try some other things. But we still love God, and we still, you know, we still read the word and we still pray. But you know, you just, I don't want to say, I don't even know how I would describe it. But anyways, you try other things, and with cooking, the people would be like, man, the way you love, they looking at me like, oh, you know, you're a woman of God. And I'm like,
wow. Wow.
You know, atheists, and I've had atheists be like, okay, God bless your hands.
Wow.
And they're like, and I don't believe in God.
Wow.
I'm like, what? And they literally people who would be like, I don't believe in God, are like, wait a minute. I've had good food. Everyone had good food. We all come from the same grocery stores. There is no secret special store that has super amazing, better food for people that chefs shop at. No, I can go where you go. But they would literally try my food and be like, God bless you to do this. No.
Wow,
No. This is a gift. I don't care. I don't care.
Yes.
You know? So then it's like, okay, God, did you give me a gift?
Wow.
And then as you start to, so I said that I got kicked out of school, and I said that I started traveling to Tennessee, and it just, God just kept providing. I said, God, if I'm not going to be in nursing school, I have 3 children now. Yeah. So I need to finance it. So you really have to open up the door. Yeah. And God really opened up the door. I have touched up to 18K. Come on. My mom works with me. Come on. You know, she was looking, when I told her, I was like, when I made $1,000. $1,000 that month. It wasn't even $1,000 that week. It was like I busted my tail the whole month, and I got $1,000. And I was like, Mom, you're gonna work for me. And my mom, she would kind of just roll her eyes and keep going. Yeah. My mom works for me. She does calls for me. My brother Jesse has worked for me. My brother Danny has worked for me. And so, that's how I got here. I'll touch a little bit on the awards and just kind of like how I got to TV. One of the things about success, and I shared this when I was a keynote speaker Saturday at a Black Economic Summit. And I told him, I said, man, anytime something really, 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 really good happens, like something bad happens too. So it's like, with success, and if it's a great moment, I kind of want to put on a helmet and a bulletproof vest.
Yes, all the things.
Because what is about to happen for my travel chef career, I had to get kicked out of nursing school. Okay. Wow.
Come on.
And before I went to TV, my best friend, she went on an event with me, and my best friend, she looked me in my face and was like, "I'll never work with you again. I'll never travel with you again. I'll never," like literally, she looked me in my face and was like, "Yo, I'm done with you."
Wow.
And I still had to do the job, and I still had to travel home with her. And on the way home, I get a call, and they're like, "Hey, can you be in Atlanta for 2 weeks? We're gonna put you on TV."
What?
So here I am. I want to come out with my best friend who
wow.
since a baby. You know, like, I grew up with you, and we're adults now, and we have children now. Look at me and be like, "Yo, I'm done with you." And I get the call that like, "Hey, you're gonna be on TV." And so, you know, for me, success and like trial, they go hand in hand. But the one thing I shared on Saturday that you have to learn, and this is definitely a nugget, and again, each part of success, you do not skip any steps. You don't skip any steps, and you don't miss any of the lessons. You have to learn that you do not let people steal your joy.
Yeah. That's
so
good.
All you're winning, just know, okay, you know, something.
Yes.
And when it comes, don't let it steal your joy.
That's
because
good.
It's kind of guaranteed to come. And that's how it works for me. I don't know how it works for everybody else.
Yeah. Listen, that's how it works.
Look, that's how it works. I mean, give me a helmet. Give me a bulletproof. Give me a military grade helmet and a bulletproof vest.
A life jacket.
A life jacket,
oxygen mask,
an EpiPen,
all the things.
All the things.
Yes.
Because something is about to happen. And that thing used to tear me down so much to where I felt like I couldn't even enjoy the happy moments because of the loss that just occurred.
Wow.
You get scared of winning.
Yeah. Yes.
I was real scared of it was like, yo, something good's about to happen. Well, wait a minute. I don't even know because listen, you know.
Wow. And you don't want to preface it with that, right? You don't want to let that take over, like you said, steal your joy, keep you from being present in the moment. But this is real talk, and you ladies have to hear this. It comes with the territory.
Yes.
It comes with the territory, in just the way that he was with you leading up to that moment. He will be with you all the way through when you need the life jacket, when you need he's got all of that covered for you, right? And he's giving it to you in your toolkit. But in those moments, you have the opportunity to activate those things, because it does not have to steal your joy. It does not have to take you out or off course.
Off course.
The more you experience it over time,
you'll be like, oh,
I got this.
I know what to do.
I know exactly what this is.
I know what to do now. I'm 3 years in, almost 3 years on business. Wait a minute. And it takes me that long. It's literally taken me that long to be like, oh, is this why they say don't let people steal your joy? Because, you know, I'm very emotional and I can get very sad, and you just be like, dang, or you just won something. So I won Best Chef in the DMV from WHUR, and like the day that I won, you lose another friend, and you're like,
yeah,
I just won. You couldn't unfriend me tomorrow. Like, you have to do it today. Like,
have my moment. Yes,
you gotta fight me right now.
Yeah,
like, you never ever fought me. Now you have to fight me the day that I win. Man, so success is just, you know, they say everybody is not going to go to the top with you. When they say that, I don't know if they put enough emphasis on how much that hurts.
Yeah.
If we're honest, like how much that hurts, especially if, you know, you have people at the bottom grind with you. And not even that, I think I'm at the top. So when I say bottom, it's not even, I'm just saying bottom, like in general.
Sure.
People at the bottom that grind with you, you want them to be there with you. Like, we all gonna be here together. And then when you look around and they're not there, and it's just like, you get it because everyone talks about it. Like, oh yeah, you can take everyone to the top with you. But that's very hard. And so, you know, that's
I think it's important. It's hard. And I think it needs to be, I'm so glad you're talking about this, because we really need to be real about it.
Be real.
And secondly, we really need to allow ourselves to not be okay in those ways. It's okay to not be okay. And we need to grieve those losses as well as we're celebrating the wins. Again, don't let it take the moment from you. And don't let it steal your joy. But it's okay not to be okay, and to really allow yourself to feel and grieve those losses as you continue on the journey, because it's also a part of your process.
It is.
It's a part of your process.
And it is a pruning too. Because if you think about all them people, you know, the reason why I call it a pruning is because you think about all the different ways that you can go and how you're influenced by the people around you. And slowly but surely, you know, if you, now I'm gonna sound like my dad, if you live long enough, you learn that, you know, God is gonna just take that away. He's gonna refine you. He's gonna refine you, and he's gonna shape you. And you just gotta keep going in the right direction. And if you veer off because we're human, just know that, okay, he's gonna bring you back. And you're gonna keep going, and he's gonna keep peeling things away. So I mentioned, you know, TV. I mentioned winning Best Chef in the DMV. And then TV just came. Once I got on TV the first time, it just came like clockwork. Hey, do you want to be on TV again? So I was on TV in DC. Hey, you want to be on TV again? So I was on TV in Baltimore. I think I was on TV in Baltimore like 3 times last year.
Wow.
And they reached out to me. It's like, yo, you want to be on TV? It's like, yeah, I want to be on TV. And I think about my story, and I talk to other chefs, and there are trained chefs who went to school for this, who haven't been on TV, who haven't won awards, who don't have big following. And so I would be a fool to say that I have all of this just because, oh, I'm this great cook. I cook. And I believe it is a gift. But I definitely believe that I'm favored by God. You know, and through everything that I've been through, I was upset today. I was like, I really don't care. I'm the apple of God's eye. Like, y'all really can't tell me nothing. I know I've been through a lot, and everything isn't perfect. I'm definitely the apple of God's eye. I never thought that this was possible for a chef. So when I cooked in California, I cooked for MJ Harris and the voice of Elmo, Kevin Clash, and Nathaniel Hell Williams. It was just so many like Hollywood celebs there. And MJ said to me, he's like, you know, you're a chef. Like, we've all had good food. He's like, but you are more than a chef. You came out, you talked to the people, you didn't stay in the kitchen. He's like, my nephew MJ had a special dietary request without hesitation or being frustrated or anything like that. He's like, you made him another meal, and that meal in itself was still amazing. It's like you made it out of nothing. Hey, Grandma. Thank you, Grandma. Thank you, Grandma.
Yes.
Word, baby.
Passing it down, generational.
You know, so stuff. That would be something I think that sets me apart from other chefs, is because I am food, but I'm not just food. And
Yes.
so I try to stay away from the catering jobs, because catering, you really don't get to experience me. If it's a catering thing and it's hundreds and hundreds of people, then you really don't get to know that, hey, like, I actually love you and I care, and how are you doing, and what's the food, right? So I like to stay in my lane where people can experience me, experience some love, you know, through good food. And you know, because I was divorced, if ever I do a husband and a wife, I just roll out the red carpet. Because it's like, you guys are working on your marriage. You guys are investing in your marriage. He's giving you money to invest in your marriage. You're allowed to spend money to invest in your marriage and work on it. I'm going to roll out the red carpet, because
beautiful.
I just believe in marriage so much, and just, you know, and family, keeping, you know, family and being happy and loving one another. So if you go to my page, you'll see that, like, I'm all about love. I'm still the hopeless romantic. I'm still rooting for it. I'm still rooting for love and for couples, you know, to work that thing out.
I love it so much. We got to backtrack for a minute, because
listen,
I hope y'all are if y'all are catching this, please let us know in the comments. I already see that part is okay not to be okay. I love that. Love through food. I see that great story. Y'all, let us know in the comments. Give us some love. Let Natasha know. Listen, we got to backtrack for a minute, because we got divorced. Okay. He used the pain from that to slide you right into your purpose, right into the kitchen, perfecting recipes, getting your menu together. I mean, won't he do, you all, there's so many times throughout our lives that slamming the doors in your face, some of us need that. He knows exactly what we need, how we need it, and when. So you're coming through traumatic experience, pain, pushes you into the kitchen. Do y'all see this?
It
pushes you into the kitchen.
Can I tell you something else too? If we go back a little bit further, you know, it's not that, like, God threw me out there and I just didn't know, or he didn't prepare me. So I was in California, right? These are the last 2 years that I was in my marriage home. I had no idea that I was going to be divorced at the time. I had no idea that I was, you know, I got married to stay in it forever. I just didn't know things were going to go left so fast.
Yeah.
I had this burning desire, like, you need to figure out how to financially take care of you and the kids. Like, the thought never left my head. Why would I have that thought? I'm a stay-at-home wife. I just, either I was pregnant or I just had my son. Probably pregnant. I'm a stay-at-home wife. Why is God like, yo, you need to have a way? So what I would do, I prayed over my hands. I said, God, I went to school, but I never graduated. I don't have any degrees or anything like that. So God was always like, yo, pray over your hand. I'm praying over my hands. God, bless my hands. God, bless my hands. What can I do with my hands that, if need be, I can provide for my children? I'm married. Why would I have that thought? So then I picked up photography and graphic design. And so, you know, you really don't make no money like that, because I didn't need to.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm studying photography. I'm studying graphic design. I'm taking pictures, you know, in LA with DJs and everything like that, just perfecting, like, the whole photography thing. So now that I'm a chef, I can take pictures of my own food.
Oh boy.
And my pictures look good.
Yes, y'all go check out the pictures. Listen,
I can take pictures of my own food. And then back then it was also like, yo, I want to be in videos so bad. It takes so long to learn how to do video, but if it's on your heart and on your mind, like, you got time for it. So now, you know, one of the things that helped me go viral was my reels. video.
Yes.
So photography and video. Well, when did God put photography and video on my heart? He put that on my heart in 2017, 2016.
Wow. Didn't even know.
Didn't even know that it would be what is it would be something that also sets me apart. So God knew.
Wow.
That he knew what was coming and what skills and stuff I needed. And I can definitely say that he prepped me for it. I would also love to say that timing is everything.
Say it again.
Timing is everything.
Go on.
It's so much. Now that I'm thinking about timing, I have to tell you, I was reading about recently, like this week, I'm reading about God had me just look at Mary and her relationship with Jesus when they were at the wedding.
Yes.
And she was like, yo, come here.
Wow.
Like, now, why are you messing with me? My time has not come yet. So timing is everything. Like, even Jesus had a time before, like, he was just a regular son before he was like, Jesus, miracles and all that other stuff. So,
wow.
I had Jesse, my youngest, and I still had the love for cooking and everything. And I tried to sell food, and I sold a couple orders. And the baby cried the whole time. She cried. So I never did it again.
Wow.
Well, not right then anyway. It was just too stressful. So I left it alone. So that was 2019 that I had tried to start. And it did not. It just,
yeah.
No one said anything about how good the food was, just nothing.
Wow.
But that next year, when I picked it back up again in 2020, it took off.
Wow.
Timing.
There's an aligned time. Wow. Wow. My goodness. Yeah. Are you catching it? I hope you guys are catching this. This is so good. So we go back a little bit again, and now it's closed, slam door on nursing school with a heart full of love for this food, knowing that I got something in my hands, but everybody else is telling me that I need to do this, I need to do that. We shared something this week, my husband and I, that people they're not always going to understand your moves. When God shows you something, they're not always going to understand the moves you make, but obey God anyway.
And and if they don't understand, it's not even a problem. You don't have to worry about it. It's like you get to the point where you start to trust God to where it's like, well, even if they don't get it, just wait. Have some patience.
Yeah.
Give it time to come to pass. God always has to, I always have to remind myself, I'm in a rush. God is not in a rush. I'm in a rush. God is not in a rush. So when I started cooking, my close circle was like, hey, finish nursing school. Just immediate close circle was like, oh, finish school. Just like a handful of people on one hand. Everyone else was like, why are you in school? I cooked in this lady's home. The food was so great. She was like, oh, you're in culinary school. I was like, no, I'm in nursing school. They'd be like, for what? What are you in nursing school for? I started my business, and I didn't have a logo. I just got started. I didn't have anything. This guy, Renzo, he comes to me. He says, hey, your food is amazing. I think you're going to be great. I want to help you out. I want to make a logo for you.
Wow.
And he showed me the logo. Like, he didn't.
What? He already made it.
He made it. And that is my business's logo today.
Wow.
So I had on just one hand, like a couple of people that were like, no, stay in school. Everyone else was like, you are a star. And I would be like, okay, I know the food is good. And they'd be like, nah, we see you in Hollywood. And I'm like, no, the food is good. So everyone on Facebook is like, yo, we know you're a star. We know you're going to be big, da 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 da. So when they saw me in Hollywood, they were like, yo, we told you you're in Hollywood. We told you was going to be in Hollywood. When they saw me looking for celebs, they was like,
wow. Wow.
So I have people who did see it.
Yeah.
It was just,
Sure.
Sometimes you're kind of looking for certain people to see it.
Yes, they matter. Those ones who were right there. Usually the ones who are in closest in proximity and probably bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You want a certain set of people. It could be 500 people being like, yo, you're great. You're going to be a superstar. You're amazing. You're looking for 2 to 3. You're looking for your 2 or 3 people to say it.
Your people.
To where it matters.
Yes.
Because remember, I'm introverted. So you on the outside saying something to me, it don't really penetrate like that.
Right. It's not the same.
It
hits different.
Yeah, like I'm introverted. Like you got to kind of know me.
Yes, it matters. It matters. But let's look at this part though, and this is what he'll do. He'll bring it full circle.
Come on, hasn't it?
That now those 5 people. What? Not only do they see you, they see what God has done. And then he'll take it and allow other people to believe that he can do that for me. So tell us a little bit about that. I know we getting close to time, but this is too good. We gotta get these parts because there's so much wrapped up into this. Even your mom, full circle, your mom works for you now.
Yes. So if you
did y'all get that?
And I sent it to her, and she would literally, I want to call her over here because she would literally kind of just like roll her eyes and be like, girl, bye. And it's like, no, like I'm gonna figure this thing out.
Yes.
Figure it out. Like you're gonna
yes.
And she does now.
Wow.
And that's just and I don't even say that boastfully, like that's just a blessing. Like and it goes back to those things where it's like certain things that you feel like God is telling you, write it and put a date on it. So you go back and you're like, yo, this is what God says. So
yes, write it down, make it plain so that he sees it. You didn't ran with it now.
Come on.
He's allowed you to run with it.
Tell me your question.
Yes. So it's come full circle, just about how you had a handful of people who were like, you need to stay in school. You need to stay in school. And not only do they see you now, they see what God has done. What kind of impact has that had on them?
They praise God for you.
Yes.
They be like, yo, they literally be like, yo, you said God told you X, Y.
Yes.
Look at you, Tasha.
Come on.
They literally pray. Like, some people are like, oh, I hope I live my life in a way that gives God glory. Yeah. I never thought like, oh, you're going to be a chef and that's going to give God glory and your divorce and it's still going to turn around and be able to give God glory. You would think that maybe you did everything perfect and you did everything right and everything lined up just beautifully and magically, but no, like them seeing me struggle, them seeing me give up, them seeing me kind of just hold on to a couple of words that God would give you. Because when he gives you a vision for something, he doesn't even tell you everything.
Yes.
One part, and you don't even know how you're gonna do that one part. So that's crazy when you see it. You only got one part. I only made $1,000. How am I?
Yes.
It don't, and then for you to not even know how it's gonna be to where it's like, well, I don't know how. So now to see it, I think everyone, even people who aren't Christian, look and like, God has blessed you. God has blessed your hands. It's definitely a gift.
Yes.
So I think for me, what it's done is just I don't know. It's really just giving God glory.
Yeah.
They thank
Yeah.
God for you, and they thank God
Amen.
for the gift and what He's done and how He's kind of turned things around, because they see me at my lowest.
Yes.
You know, and then they see me now, and it's like, God is really with you, man, and that's
Wow.
inspiring. You know,
Wow.
I wish that's inspiring. So that part to me is kind of like, I never thought that.
Wow.
I never thought that they would be like, "Oh, you're an inspiration." It's just a story of how I was crying.
Wow. Wow.
I was sad, you know. I was
Yes.
sad. I was crying making this food. You know,
My
asking God to heal
goodness.
my heart.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
and all you remember is, I think the only thing that I could kind of hold on to is like, they will know it's by love. So when it came to cooking and all of this other stuff, like, you know, people gonna know if you're saved. The scripture, they'll know it's by our love. So I was always
Yeah.
like, oh, if I can't do anything, if I can't live any other part of the scripture, let me live this part. Let me live this
Yes.
one part, God. Let me at least love people. You know, if I
Yes.
can't live any other verse in the Bible, I'm gonna love people. I just felt
Yes.
that, and so people
Yes.
felt that, and
That's it.
you know, and they gravitate towards me for that.
Yes. 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 And that's what it's about, right? The love. We can do 50, 60 other things. And the word talks about it, but without love,
Without
what is it truly, really, right? Sounding, just gongs and hands, and even you doing this to the glory of God, right? God is love. This foundation of your food is love. And that's what, so you're being set apart is it's not just about your few, and you said it, you were talking, I was like, oh, this is a whole experience.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
people
It's
who
not just food.
don't
Yeah.
even believe in God are experiencing the love of God through food and Natasha B.
And you know, that wasn't the Sunday school lesson.
Come on.
You know, we didn't, you know, the Sunday school lesson is, you know, how to witness was like, you gotta have this verse and you gotta have that verse.
Wow. And living it out.
Living
it out is what you're doing.
So
living
you
it
don't
out.
anything. I don't have to go. So I was in Toledo, Ohio, and I didn't go in with a scripture. Go in, you know, with a veil.
Yeah.
I have a cross.
Yeah.
All she kept saying was, "Oh,
wow."
You know,
wow.
when the last time they've been to church? Have atheists be like, "Yo, God blessed your hands," and they're like, "Yo, we don't believe in God, but I'm gonna say this, God," you know. So it's like, and you didn't have to give them a scripture. You didn't have to. I didn't have to do it yet. Now the next person coming behind me will probably have to do more.
Sure,
but
sure,
I did my part for you to acknowledge him. You acknowledged him, didn't you? Okay.
That's good. Right. That's good. We plant the seeds.
Pastor, look. Now the pastor, the minister, and the deacon, they gonna come and hopefully they train you up.
That's right.
But I got
you did your part.
I got you to acknowledge him without giving him scripture.
That's it. And that's all we can do. That's all he wants us to do is our part, right? One body, many members, and we all have a part to play. And you are showing us today, this is a perfect example that it doesn't always look like you think it's going to look. It's not always you walking down the street with your Bible in your hands or in your heart, spitting scripture to people, but they will know you by the love you show, is what Natasha just shared with us. And so they're experiencing that love through her life, through her story. And he wants to do that with each and every one of us.
Come on.
Each and every one of us. There's something that he's placed on the inside. He's blessed her hands to make anointed food. The food's anointed. I haven't tasted it. I see it through the anointed pictures that the food is anointed, y'all. And so he wants to do the same thing through you. You have something that he's placed in your belly, that he's anointed your hands to do. He's anointed your voice to do. And he wants to use it. He wants to use it. He says, let your light so shine before men so that they will glorify my Father in heaven. And this is what we're seeing on display today. This is what we're seeing on display today. And so as we try to wrap this up, because this is so good. We might need a part 2 and to bring this back.
With a part 2, because you just hit it. Like, I don't know if you know, but like any accomplishment, if you win something, I don't even know who nominated me for Best Chef in the DMV.
Wow.
So the lady, and this is why I like to mention the favor of God. And I put something up on my page today talking about. I saw that
today. Yeah, we have to share that.
Someone voted me for seafood. And they nominated me for seafood. And that was a category that I started in. And when I got down there and I won the award, the lady said I started trending for Best Chef. I didn't trend for seafood. I just started trending for she's chef, period. And so they moved me from seafood and put me in the Best Chef category. And then I won. I beat the guy, and they were like, yo, you had like 1 million votes.
Oh my goodness.
This guy has a food truck. I don't know if people know. And I know you try to wrap it up, but I don't know if people know that, like, if you want anything, you better ask God for favor, because he's going to, I feel like the favor of God it's taking me from wherever I am. And at any moment, God is like, now I want you to be here. Boom.
Wow.
I said, Dad, I'm a chef. How did I get voted to be the keynote speaker of a Black Economic Empowerment Summit? How?
Come on.
And not only that, they paid me.
Oh, gosh.
I got paid crazy. And it was like, really? What inspires me to be up there speaking? It's people that have been in business long. They ain't never been the keynote speaker. Favor of God.
Come on.
I don't know. I'm favored. I'm glad.
Yes.
You won it. You won it. Last thing I have to mention too, I also do a lot of volunteering, and I also do a lot of charity work.
Yes, we need to talk about that right now. Right now. So what God has for you is for you as we transition into, because God has favored you.
Yes.
He's allowed your gift to make room for you. More than room. He's opened up the floodgates to your life.
I want to cry.
Wow. Through your gift.
You think, well, it's like, okay, you made it through your first year. And then your second year, and it's still going up.
Wow.
And then your third year, and it's still going up. And you'd be like, okay, so God, you're really doing this thing. You're really doing this thing.
Wow. It's absolutely limitless to what he will do when we allow, right? You are glorifying him through all of this. This is your gift. Look, this is the favor of God on my life. You opened it up. Like, there's no limit now to what he can do as you continue to do that. Is it your mindset is that it's better to give
than to receive. It's so much. You have to give. And God rewards you for giving. And a lot of times it's never even the amount that you give, it's the sacrifice attached to it. So I'll say $1,000, because that was like what I mentioned today. But it's like, if you only have $1,000, and what if you took all of what you had? So I was in photography, right? And I took all the photography and graphic design money, and I went to Africa and I started volunteering. Like, I took all the money.
Wow.
Like, all of it. You're like, well, what did you do with your money? Well, I went and volunteered, and I fed some kids there.
Wow.
And then I did it again, and I did it again, and I did it last year. And I was walking around my kitchen today with the window cracked open, and I was like, all right, it's time to start planning.
So again,
you tell me, Ghana or Kenya? Ghana or Kenya?
Wow.
And then God says, when you take care of the children and the poor,
it says
he will repay. And
Go
I don't
on.
know if people know that. It's like, don't
Go
you
on.
know, like, if you help me, so it's like, he looks at it like you're helping him out. Like, thank you. Like, you helping me out, I'm going to repay you.
Yeah.
And you can look at my life and you can, I wasn't this perfect, flawless person.
Mm.
I was not.
Yes.
You can still see that, like, yo, maybe we need to start taking care of our neighbor, and maybe we need to start loving one another. And and I'm all for volunteering and giving, and I think it's played a part in I think it's played a part in all of my success. My friend, she's not Christian. I think she wants to be, but she's not there yet.
Okay.
I got people that we working on them.
Yes, yes.
In front of them.
That's
and
right.
She said to me when she saw me, what was I on? I was on TV, and I think I was on TV, and she knew me for like 2 years. And then she also saw me volunteering in Ghana. Like, she saw through the videos and everything, and she messaged me. She's like, this is why you're so blessed. Like, this is why God has blessed you. Look at what you're doing.
Wow.
Look at what you're doing. So it's like, they may not acknowledge God as their savior yet, but it's definitely making them think that he's up to something.
Yes.
Okay. And that, maybe part of the word works. Where it says, he'll bring your gift will bring you in front of kings and queens.
Yes.
Like, maybe part of the word is true.
Yes.
It's part of the Bible true. That's what I think they're starting to think now. And I have to read this thing that I posted today.
Yes, please do. I just posted in the group too.
Oh, you did?
Check it out. Yeah, it's the link. Let's do it.
Divine favor is being singled out by God for special treatment. And I would definitely say, I qualify. I'm definitely in the whole special treatment era.
Amen.
It is at his exclusive and unquestionable bidding and pleasure. It means you have somehow found favor with him against all odds. The natural laws and the normal course of events are altered, canceled, or suspended just for you. You will either be pulled out of line, or you will become unique and different from others. You will either stand out or be outstanding.
Wow.
And that thing was like the favor of God. You want it.
My goodness, yes.
You want it. You better pray for it.
Yes.
It makes a difference. When God has his hand on something. There are chefs out here that never make it to TV, that never win awards. And I'm just gonna get divorced, get kicked out of school, and have a baby, and then boom, I qualify to be on TV. Oh yeah, I qualify to be the keynote speaker. I won Business Person of the Year award.
Come on. Oh, we forgot about that award.
But listen, it's too much to mention.
It's so much.
A lot because we can.
So much. Thank you, God. Wow. So we've got it. We've got to transition it because we have to share. We have to share about your mentorship program, and we have to share about the book that's coming before we close out, so that people can see, look, here's purpose on display, but it's so much bigger. This is so much bigger than food. The heart behind this food is changing the world. It's changing the world. So tell us about the mentorship program. Tell us a little bit about the book that's coming before we close out.
Man, when I got started, when you're married and you're a stay-at-home wife, you have that financial security. And then when I was divorced and now I have 3 children and I'm working as a CNA, they're basically looking at you like you are destined for poverty. And you can now apply to be in Section 8 housing, and we're going to give you WIC. And then the mentality behind that also can kind of become, and don't make too much because you don't want them to take away any of your assistance. You don't want, in thinking that I have to, if I'm going to break away, I need to make a clean break. I used I used like food stamps to help me get started. And then you let it go. And it's like, okay, now now I don't need those anymore. And I'm able to, with cooking, I'm able to make I have excellent finances. Excellent finances. I'm in control of just my income. I work as much as I want, know, and that freedom,
yes,
I think other women need to.
That part.
Because I like to say, and we know it growing up in church, God is not a respecter of person.
Yes.
So with mentorship, and if I can teach you a skill, and I can work alongside you, I feel like you have the opportunity to do the same thing for you and your children. You have an opportunity to make an income to where you don't have to say, oh, well, I have to have food stamps because I'm not going to feed my kids. Like, we can stand up. We are the head and not the tail. My people perish for a lack of knowledge. So now let's give them some knowledge. Let's give them some keys. Let's empower them. I am not in the position that I am in. And you guys are not looking at me win all of these awards and be on TV and everything for it just to be about me. Remember, I love people. So I want to see you doing well as well. So I created a mentorship program where I poured out my heart. And it doesn't teach you recipes, because guess what? I'm more than a chef. Everybody got something that they make well. Maybe you bake or you make sauces. Everyone has something. So this isn't about like, oh, recipes, but this is teaching you how to deal with clients, how to stand out. We don't follow trends. We don't follow trends. We create the trends.
Let's go. Say it again.
You understand what I'm saying? We don't follow trends.
Trendsetters.
I was in a meeting today with the VP at BT.
Come on.
For socials. And she's like, we want to create the formula that other people will follow for success.
Wow.
Don't follow trends. We create them. Especially as Black women. Come on, Black women. It's like, we got this.
Yes.
We got this. So y'all got the recipes. But my mentorship program is teaching you principles like, I have a thing, inch in the right direction. If you look at where you are now, and you think about, oh, I want to be a millionaire. Oh, I want to be on TV. You can't always just start there. Write that down, but it's a whole bunch of steps in between there. And if you inch in the right direction, if you say, okay, I messed this up yesterday, let me get it right today. Oh man, okay, I got it right today. Let me get one other thing right today. And you hold that. Like you never slip back on like your skills or anything like that. So I have this thing, inch in the right direction. And then when you pick your head up after some time, don't look at your progress right then. Pick your head up 3-4 months down the road. You be like, yo, I did all of that. I improved that way. Yes. So that's my mentorship. I'm teaching you what I did to stand out. Yeah, what I did to stand out, what I did to build clientele, how I deal with my clients, like the proper things when you're dealing with your client, because my clients, they book houses for me.
Wow.
Maybe I'm staying with them. You kind of need to know how to carry yourself. And I also put in there a whole bunch of things that I wish I knew when I got started. The one thing about my case is I don't know anyone whose journey is like mine that I can look at. I tried to get a mentor. She was owning a food truck at the time. And then she got into like a shared kitchen. And now I think she's going to move more towards catering. I love her and I love her food. But I didn't see myself like trying to follow behind her footsteps. So it can teach me a few things. It can teach me about the hustling of like a commercial kitchen.
Okay.
And so still, as I am right now, I don't have somebody that I can look at and say, I'm following their footsteps. So if you look at me and you say, oh, she has the awards, she has the money, she has the popularity, then you can be like, oh, if you want what I have, I can tell you how I got it. And I can tell you what I did. And it's not it's way more than food.
Yes.
It's beyond food. It's way beyond food.
So good. There's a saying, it's called success leaves clues.
Oh,
Success leaves clues. And what you're doing, see, what he showing me right now this moment, like there weren't any footsteps for you to follow in, because there's a specific blueprint to what he's done in your life and what he's doing, that there was no other blueprint that could really bring together what he's done in your life and what he's doing. And he knew that you would use it to help other people and bring them along with you. And there's a difference between that. You're the trendsetter. There's a blueprint behind your business that's needed, and it's going to shift other people's lives and other people's bloodlines. So you own it. Own it.
And can I say this?
Yes.
I don't know where I'm going yet.
Good. Yes.
And so I had this thing of like, well, I'm becoming. Because every year I end up doing something that was like, I never even knew that was possible for me. You know, y'all want me to do what? You know, like all of next week, I'll be in schools. I'll be in schools talking to kids.
Wow.
And it's like, I didn't see that. You know, when I was talking to my mom about hiring her and being, you know, I made that little $1,000.
Yes.
I didn't see that I was gonna be here. I didn't see that I was gonna be there, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm still becoming. I'm still becoming. It's definitely still up.
Wow.
It's definitely still up.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. Well, this is hard to close. We're gonna have to have you back. Because like you said, you're still on the journey, and I wholeheartedly believe that there's so much more to come for you, and that God is just getting started with you. Things that have already blown your mind. There's so much more to come that you're gonna sit here and all again, like, I don't know. And I think I said good after you said, I don't know where I'm going, because I think there's so much freedom in that. We don't have to know, because he knows. And so as you continue to just release your journey and everything that you're walking into him, I guess the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit. The favor of God is just going to continue to grow. And as I say, he knows and sees that you're going to bring people along with you. That's the difference between people who are just great and greatness.
Oh.
And I feel like that's what you stepped into. Come on. That's what you stepped into. There's this new book out. It's called The Greatness Mindset. And he talks about greatness being you doing what you're doing, right? Pursuing your goals and your dreams, and in the service and impact of others in that process. And that's what you're doing. He talks about impacting and inspiring and elevating other people in the process of you becoming great. And that's what I see on display tonight is greatness. And a great big God facilitating the whole thing with his favor, with someone who's willing and just continuing to say yes to what he's doing. So I want to personally thank you. And I hope you ladies who are watching and will watch back will do the same. I thank you so much for being Hidden No More. Who knew that little Nikki in elementary school would be this today? I mean, but this is what God can do. So I thank you personally for being Hidden No More.
Oh, thank you.
And for bringing other people out of hiding with you.
Oh, thank you for having me on the show. And for interviewing me. And in my closing statement, I'll make it so fast. When you think about being an inspiration and inspiring people, I would say for everyone, you know, one, check your heart, because
wow,
I would hate for you just to jump out. I'm gonna inspire you. How are you gonna inspire me? With what?
Yeah.
Okay, it's my pain, it's my failure, it's my struggle, it's my not quitting.
Yes.
You know, unless you're coming with something real, don't just be like, oh, I'm gonna inspire me with what? This is my actual life. I didn't say, oh God, make me divorced so that I can stand up here and say you brought me through. No, I never wanted to be divorced.
Yes.
You
Say
know?
it. Say it.
So I never started out, trying to be an inspiration, but God has a way. As my dad would say, God has a way. And this is really great. And thank you. Thank you. I appreciate
so
it.
much.
Thank you, everyone.
We will have to have you back again. Cannot wait. You all go follow her. I put her Instagram in the comments. Make sure that you go follow Chef Natasha B so that you can stay on this journey with her and you can pray for her and that you can support her. And I see already in the comments, people trying to get and taste some food when you come here. I'm going to have to pray about that part, y'all. I'm going to have to pray, but we will see. We might be able to share with the community. Now we gonna share with y'all. We will make sure that when it does happen and she comes into town, that you all get a taste of the food too. We love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hey, baby girl, how you doing? Look at this beautiful baby.
With all this here. So say bye-bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you so much. We love you guys. Be blessed. We'll see you next time.
Bye.